What is going on, everybody? Today is actually, I don't even know. Do you know which way the trail goes?
Am I? Yes, I'm good. Don't worry.
You know where we are?
I don't see myself on there.
You're there. See you right there?
I'm just so tiny that I don't.
I'll try sticking it a little farther.
I'm like an ant.
Yeah, you're just a tiny little guy. Today, all my friends, very small. Everybody I've had on this podcast, so small. Today, the big day.
We're working on getting smaller on this walk.
Yeah, exactly. 20. We're gonna walk. We are at the base of Kilimanjaro today, and we are climbing.
Dressed appropriately.
Dressed appropriately for a mountain climb in our Gin Blossoms shirt and our political.
The Gin Blossom shirt or Gorilla Biscuits shirt? Did we decide?
Gin Biscuits shirt.
Gin Biscuits.
The Gin Biscuits.
Sipping on gin and biscuits.
That would actually be a fun. That would be a fun mashup. A fun cover band.
Snoop Dogg in the style of Gorilla Biscuits? Or
no, just
Snoop Dogg songs, Snoop Dogg music, Gin Blossom's lyrics yelled like Civ.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna. So, anyways, we're announcing our new album today. Anyways, I'm out here with Alex LaChance, friend of the show, friend of Nick Sands, and we are going on a little mountain expedition. Alex has been on the podcast before.
Am I now your most frequent guest? This is my third time I podcasted with you.
You have to be.
I don't know if it's the same brand each time.
This is your second time on Nick Sands Presents.
Okay.
You also were on the A1 podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you were on the A1 podcast twice, actually, weren't you?
I don't know, maybe.
And then, but you have so many layers to you. Professional comedian.
3 or 4 of them are fat.
Actor. You do other stuff too.
Actor's a pretty crazy thing to call me at this point, I think. But
professional actor.
Calling me a comedian is pretty reaching at this point. Did you say professional also?
Professional comedian.
I've never been paid.
I thought you had just lined up your first show.
I think that is just like a booked open mic. I'm definitely not getting paid.
Okay. All right. Amateur comedian. Amateur actor. Marathoner.
Did that once.
Professional MMA fighter.
Yep.
How much did you get?
Undefeated.
Undefeated professional MMA fighter. How much did you get paid for your MMA fight?
I believe it was $200, and then I got some sort of percentage of tickets, but it's almost 20 years now, so I don't really remember.
Oh, $200 20 years ago. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's like 50 cents now.
For 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
$200 will buy you an egg.
How many minutes were the rounds?
They're 4-minute rounds. It was under the U.S. Kickboxing Association rules. They hadn't gone to unified MMA rules like UFC uses yet. So, wow, I'm already winded.
Same.
We're on this downhill now.
I can't wait to hear this audio later. It's gonna be some real ASMR shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put my earbuds in and just listen to us breathe. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, US KBA rules. So it was 2 4-minute rounds with a 3rd round tiebreaker if there wasn't a decision after 2. So if you split the rounds.
Gotcha. How many rounds did you go?
I won a couple minutes into the second.
Oh, good. So you didn't even. So you got paid $200 for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, not even, maybe 6.
Well, I'm thinking walkout, rest, or rest periods. Like 8 minutes.
I mean, well, if you're going to count the walkout, I mean, you might as well count the year of training 6 days
No.
a week.
No. That doesn't sound as good.
Yeah.
6 days a week you train for that?
Yeah, usually.
Wow, that was 20 years ago?
There are probably some 2006, so 19 years now.
Wow.
October of 2006, so.
Fuck.
But we're getting there, yeah.
It's crazy how old we are.
Oh, I know, it sucks. Sucks. You know what's funny though? Is like, now that I've hit my 40s, like, yeah, that's a big number, but I feel like I have more life to live than I did when I was in my 20s, you know?
Elaborate on that.
I don't know, it just seemed like, so here's an example, I guess. It was like on my 30th birthday, I went to the gym in the morning with my now wife. Were we married then? We might have, yeah, we were definitely married then. What am I thinking? And I had a hard time with a bench that I was going for. And it was like lighter weight than my normal even. And I just immediately got like completely defeated. Like my life is friggin' over because I can't, my strength is going down, you know? But like now, like turning 40, it was like, okay, well, I got another 40 more years to do shit. You know, that was my attitude now, so.
That is wild when you like only...
I have a lot more optimism than I did earlier in my life, I guess.
As you get older too. I mean, I feel like I'm still in my 30s, no big deal. But I feel like...
Young guy over here.
Still very winded from that hill though. I feel like in your 30s, it feels like especially like late 20s, early 30s, like you're having your first kid, like you're kind of just starting your career. Like I feel like there's a lot more struggle in that time. Whereas by like, at least now at this point, like my life is just
well, I think the world feels like it's going to end more often when you're younger, right? Because like so many things can derail you so quickly. We're going right.
Well, we've survived a lot more world-ending events at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hear about another world-ending event
once
a week.
That's kind of a gripe I have with our generation, though. Is like everyone says that, but it's like they forget about like our grandparents lived through World War II, like Vietnam. Like there's always these crazy, catastrophic things that are going on all throughout history. I mean, think about like you go back to like Roman times or medieval, whatever.
Yeah, fuck that.
Those civilizations were at war always. Like, just going and deciding, I want this village and killing everybody was like a normal thing for thousands of years.
Yeah, but war's so different now. Like, even World War II was just like everybody kind of pulled together. It was like a whole like cultural movement.
I'm just saying, like, no,
right?
we're going down actually. Before
Oh,
we go
thank
up.
God.
Yeah, but then we're still going up again. But we go down for a little. But like everybody's always so like dramatic about like how, oh my God, or like everything's so bad. It's like, really? What are we doing right now? It's a Tuesday afternoon. You've got God knows how much friggin' money worth of camera in front of you. We get microphones on us and we're just walking in the woods shooting the shit. Now, I realize not everybody's as lucky as us. I will check my privilege at this point in the conversation.
Yeah, we did definitely hit some sort of, which way?
Out.
This way?
Yeah, now it widens out.
This is where Alex usually comes to meet his boyfriend, so.
Yes. I was very disappointed when Nick showed up.
Nick showed up with a camera.
I like to shave, man.
I sort of let on accidentally that I have the Find My app downloaded on his phone in case he's ever out and about, so I can accidentally meet up with him.
All I'm saying is like most people's lives, most people, and we all go through struggles, everybody does, and some people have it harder than others, and there's still suffering and misery all over the world. But like, in general, millennials acting like we've gotten served the worst of everything. Like, we got the worst economy. We're the first generation to have it worse than our parents economically. But like, we have a lot of good stuff.
We definitely have a lot of
good stuff. And I just want to focus on the good. That's my...
I do think that one of the reasons that we tend to focus on the negative is exactly that last point you made, which is like, you always expect things to get better.
Yeah.
With each generation, and this is the first time where we like look at where our parents were in their 30s.
But that's just one aspect of life. I mean,
for sure, but it's a measurable one, so it's easy to like.
And it's one that affects everything you do. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it.
No, I don't. I think your message is just like we should focus on the good, and I agree. And like a lot of times when we are focused on the negative, it's like shit you can't do anything about it anyways.
I've never seen anybody improve their life while they were focusing on the negative. You know what I mean? Like,
well, or even just I would actually change that and say I've never seen people improve their life while focused on things they don't have control over.
Right, yeah, that's important too.
Because like, I think you can focus on like, I hate my job, I fucking hate this job, and like use that to go get a new job.
Yeah, I mean, using something that's going poorly to motivate yourself isn't necessarily being negative, but if you're just complaining about it for 10 years at the same job, go get another job. Go learn another skill.
Speaking of going poorly, now you see why I need to start walking more.
You're doing well. I think I'm breathing heavier than you are.
I'm holding it together because I'm the host and that's my job, is to is to lead this.
Well, this view of Hooksett is going to be worth it.
Yeah, people travel from states around, miles around to get a killer view of Hooksett.
There was literally nobody else in the parking lot.
Yeah, well, that's because they had to park. We have local New Hampshire privilege. They had to park down the street.
They had to park at the Massachusetts border.
And walk up.
Your Massachusetts license won't work here. Sorry, buddy.
I'm actually not against that. I'm pro keeping Massachusetts in Massachusetts.
Me too.
Oh, fuck. All right. So, and also, I guess
30 seconds of us breathing.
So you also do a little bit of real estate.
A little, yeah. It is my full-time job, actually. Yeah.
What's that like?
It's an interesting profession to be in because it's kind of takes over your life. And I don't mean to say that in a negative way. It's just you're never off. Like you don't know when things are going to be, especially the way the market's been here.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, you got to climb those rocks. No, not really. The trail continues over this.
Oh, it does? Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Keep going.
But like the way the market's been the past, as long as I've been in the business, which is almost 8 years now, you got to jump when you got to jump for your clients. And, it's very demanding in that way. It's a very important thing that people are going through. I mean, you need air, water, food. The next most important thing in people's lives is their housing, So you can't really just say, I don't feel like dealing with it today. You gotta help the people at all times. So, you'll hear a lot of people in business and we're moving fast. Man.
We're almost there. I'll slow down.
Hear a lot of people in business and entrepreneurship talk about like work-life balance. And I abandoned that principle completely.
Same.
It's just, this is my life.
Yeah.
Like my phone, if my phone rings now, it's going to go to voicemail because we're doing this, but then I'm going to do it. And if it was Saturday, if it was a holiday, if it was nighttime, I'm going to deal with that thing. And I think it's just easier to kind of weave it into your life instead of saying, well, I'm going to have this hard stop or I don't work on this day or that day. Just for me, it's a lot easier to just say, well, I worked 16 hours on Tuesday, or I gave up last weekend, then I'll just take this opportunity on another day where there isn't a lot in the schedule and I'll do my personal things then, or, my leisure things at that time. So
what I think is interesting about you becoming a real estate agent is, I feel like it's very uniquely suited to two aspects of your personality, which is one, you hate having a boss and you hate being told what to do.
So I did a career day a few months ago up in Maine where I grew up, and that was the most attractive thing to the kids was saying that I don't have a boss. That really, it's second graders and sixth graders. I went in 2 classes, and as soon as I said no boss, they're like, what?
Well, I think
let me hear that.
I think there's two. So the other aspect I want to say is you're very, when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And you're also
yeah,
I've known you,
at least for a little bit.
I've known you to be someone who will do anything for their friends. So whereas your clients generally are your friends or become your friends, I feel like you're not going to let them down. And so it's I feel like it is perfectly, this is a compliment. Just take the compliment. I feel like it just uniquely kind of suits those two pieces of your personality very well. This actually is a really nice view of Hooksett.
Yeah, it's a very nice view.
Oh.
This is a hidden gem here in Hooksett.
That's the real estate agent
a lot of people don't know about.
There it is. I don't know if I'm capturing it, but
view to condos over there, Mount St. Mary's, which everyone who isn't from here thinks that that's the library because the library is next to it.
Right next to it.
But the sign by the street over there it says library, so people are like, wow, Hooksett has a giant library.
It's funny how Hooksett is...
It's a normal size library.
It's funny how Hooksett is like still the quintessential New England town, and in the next 10 years it's probably going to become like the next like Derry, or not quite Manchester, but Londonderry. I feel like there's a lot of...
I think that's like, no pun intended for our view right now, but that's a bird's eye view of Hooksett. I mean, you've got Roby's in the old village here. They light it up during Christmas. Another real estate agent, I believe, Tony LaChance, I think he's involved with the light up Hooksett ceremony and event, but they light up all these buildings. But I mean, that's the quintessential New England town that you're talking about, is only what we can see right here, and then there's miles and miles of suburban sprawl. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's still pretty rural, though. I wouldn't even call it suburban at this point, would you?
And
I feel like
mean,
it's more like a rural community.
You know what's weird is like you talk suburban versus like urban and rural in New England is kind of like, because New England was just thrown together, like in the colonial days, like it wasn't as planned. Like those lines blur quite a bit, because I feel like when I talk to people who are moving here from other areas, like they're coming from California, it's like all that was built like after 1950 for the most part, and like they really did. They're like, this is going to be a suburban area, this is going to be an urban area, this is going to stay rural, you know?
Right.
And we just didn't build like that, so the lines get blurred. But I would say definitely, I mean, Hooksett's just north of Manchester. Manchester would be our urban area. I would say a lot of Hooksett is suburban, but it's like even in Manchester, we have rural parts of Manchester. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You know,
or at least suburban parts of
wooded,
Manchester.
yeah, for sure. And but there's wooded, like, you know, areas. It's not like New York City, like if you go into Manhattan,
right,
and like the only green space is a park, like
that they
know.
Specifically built there.
Right. Yeah. But
what is that? Next to the condos.
I believe that's just a storage facility. and they're building a new, so that's storage units, and then in between that is they're building a new all-town gas station.
Eventually,
which is, I think it's all-town, but which is funny if I'm right, because there's one like literally 2 miles that's brand down the road that's brand new.
Have you been to those Nuria gas stations?
Maybe it's one of those actually.
Dude, they are the most. It's unsettling.
No, I think there's a Nuria where next to the Domino's over there.
They make me very uncomfortable to go in there. It
Donuts
feels like something from the Twilight Zone. For some reason, I don't know. When I go in there, it's like they're too big. They're like they don't have enough shelves or something. They just make me very uncomfortable. They feel very surreal. Do you get that feeling from them, or is that just me?
No, and I would venture to guess that you make them equally as uncomfortable.
I try to make everybody uncomfortable everywhere I go. That's why I haven't showered in 3 days.
Yeah, I can't smell it yet, so you're doing fine. Maybe we can get another couple out of it.
Do you think you could climb? How far do you think you could get on that twig before it broke?
The base, the literal base. We could try. You want to tie a rope to it and go swinging?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bigger than a twig.
I know that's
Twig's being a little dry. It's like 3 or 4 inches around.
I feel like it's gonna bend, and then it's gonna do this cartoonish thing where you fall forward, and then it's gonna slap up.
It would be fun to just tie a tire swing onto that, and then like leave a trail cam up here and see what happens.
That might be something. Nick Sands Presents might be sponsoring a tire swing up on top of.
I checked with the attorney about the liability on that.
Allegedly, Nick Sands Presents might be sponsoring a tire swing on top of Pinnacle Park.
Yeah. But we got a great view here of the Merrimack River.
We
once did a video out on that bridge over there.
Yes, we did. We tried some food.
I don't remember what we ate.
We tried some, I don't remember either.
Something from Japan, I think.
Yeah. But actually, there's a bunch of really great murals underneath that bridge that people have put up.
There were a couple dicks drawn on it recently, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Always. You can't go anywhere, though.
Yeah, you got to draw a dick.
If we looked around here, we could probably...
as soon as I walked... I've always been impressed that this has been graffiti-free, but there is some just smeared black paint here now.
I wonder if people come up here and clean it.
I don't know.
Well, right there.
It looks like somebody sprayed over something that was up here, so maybe there was dicks. Is this paint?
I think this is paint.
I thought that was just some natural coloration in the rock.
No, I think that's paint. Because there's like red there too. Oh no, maybe not, because that looks... Maybe that's iron, and it's rusting.
Geologists, Nick Sands.
Weigh in for us, geologists. I have many...
I was saying you were
many geologists are on the Nick Sands Presents.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Timeline.
It's a real rock demographic for sure. Because they all got rocks in their skulls.
Oh,
I knew we'd get to a joke somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it up here. It's nice because it's 5 minutes from my house. It's quick. I can do it like on a lunch break or whatever.
Yeah, no, that was
very nice
that was
spot.
way too fast for this podcast because we
Right.
still need to drag this out for another 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, we had to walk down, which is quicker.
So
That's probably the quickest I've ever gotten. I usually come with my daughter, and she's like, you know, looking at every single mushroom and like looking for fun rocks on the ground and asking me a bunch of questions. Daddy, can you tell me a story? Do you want to play this game or that game? Can we do 20 questions? You know.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about is you do a lot of content. You and me make a shitload of content together, from fucking starring in my stupid videos that I make, to these podcasts, to your podcast, to all the stuff you do. What is it like putting out that much content, but also still being more well known for like things you did 20 years ago?
Yeah, awful. It is absolutely terrible. So yeah, no, it's fine. You know, Yellow Stitches and all my other bands have been, you know, way more.
All my other bands, Drug Test, Ignorance, like all these pretty significant bands
Yellow
in the New
Stitches is the
Hampshire.
only one I would consider significant.
Drug Test was definitely significant.
For a blip of time. Like, there's not a lot of staying power there, but no, I mean, it's like, I'm proud of all those things, and it's all made me who I am. So it's cool to see, especially when people are still interested. It's like, with Ignorance, I get it. We didn't do a lot, and I get it all the time. Like, that band was underrated. Like, you know, people still talk about it, which
Your body language even changed now that you're talking about it. You're like, hands are in your pockets. You're like trying to like wipe it off like it wasn't that big of a deal, you know? But I mean, Ignorance less so, but Drug Test I thought
Analyze
was
me more.
pretty big.
Yeah, no, Drug Test was definitely, but it was just such a blip of time. It's not like, you know, not staying. I mean, the Yellow Stitches is a band that people will listen to forever, I think, at this point, you know. You know, and who knows, if we actually put the Drug Test stuff on streaming, maybe people would listen to it. I don't know, but yeah, it's like, I know why you brought that up, because I've complained to you about it. Is like, I did a podcast with my friend Brad, and it's called Airing of Grievances. Brad, Ryan, and Steve. It's a really good podcast. Another one just came out with Brian from Death Before Dishonor, but we talked for like 2.5 hours. And I pulled the grainiest. Somebody sent me a screen recording of something I said on there, and I used their screen recording, zoomed in. It was wide format, so it was only like a quarter of my phone screen, and then I zoomed it into a vertical reel. So it's the blurriest lo-fi video you ever saw. It's got like 10,000 views, where it's like my average video is like 1,000 to 2,000 views for all this real estate stuff that I put so much effort into. So sometimes that does feel a little bit defeating, but I get it. I mean, it's like, it's not us doing a little sketch on a piece of land out in Hillsborough is not as exciting to people as a band that they went to see time and time again for a decade, you know? So yeah, I get it. So I'm not, it doesn't truly bother me, but in the moment, sometimes it's like, damn it.
Well, too,
the one that really bothered me was when I played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on a bamboo flute that my kid got from the arcade, and that did 600,000 views on TikTok, and then like I paid you for half a day, did all kinds of things, and like the next video I put up of that stuff did like 200. That did kind of aggravate.
That's a terrible feeling.
But it's like, because it's like the flute thing, nobody should be watching. Like, but how is that worth anybody's time to watch the stupid thing that I did? You know, the caption over top of it is what I learned in school instead of how to do my taxes, which is what triggered everybody to share it and comment on it and stuff. But yeah, just the stupidest little thing. 600,000 people see it, and then so hours and hours and hours of effort, and nobody does.
Well, I think one of the things. I just thought about. I mean, we've talked about this before, but I just thought about this. It's like, how many people have like heard those first recordings you ever did, though? You know, like the first fucking Drug Test recordings, or the first, you know what I mean? Like the Yellow Stitches practice sessions. Like that's kind of what we are doing now when you're with all of your video stuff, like all your production stuff. Is like, this is still like
my origin story.
Yeah, this is still like the very beginning of your journey. Once we're, you know what I mean? Once we've hit Adam Sandler level, then we'll look back on this shit. And it'll have the same kind of effect.
Once we make 27 movies with David Spade, and we keep bringing Rob Schneider out over and over again.
Dude, Rob Schneider's career, like legitimately,
he's still doing all right. Actually, he's still selling theaters.
This isn't
he's
even
doing stand-up.
This isn't even a joke. Rob Schneider being successful is one of the things that I use to motivate myself to continue. Where I'm like, I'm not that bad. I cannot fucking stand Rob Schneider.
You know what I realized the other day is that like we can make all the excuses in the world for why different things aren't working in business. Right now, at this very moment, somebody is getting paid to read tarot cards in a building that they own outright. That exists somewhere. I don't know where.
My friend is
but
doing
I know
that.
it does.
My friend is doing that right now. My friend Anna reads tarot cards in her condo that she owns outright.
In her condo? She brings people into her condo?
I don't know.
I'm calling the HOA.
I think she goes to, she does, what's it called? She does like events.
Listen.
Like brides, what do you call those?
I hate to talk shit on somebody who's a friend of yours, but I don't get that shit at all. Tarot cards, psychics.
We'll bring
I don't
dude,
understand.
Anna, if you're
understand.
watching this, we'll have you on and you can do his tarot card readings.
Read my fucking palm.
Because I didn't believe it either, but when I had her on my podcast and she did some shit and I was like, I don't know if I necessarily believe in magic, but something is happening here bigger than I understand.
It's the same thing as crowd work and stand-up.
It
You
could
get
be.
really good at it, you make it look like it's real and genuine, but they're really doing the same joke that they've done 4,000 times.
I don't know. We'll have her
Not
on.
that all improv.
We should meet
Not
you
all,
up.
Some crowd work is improv. But
We should meet you up and then you guys can try it out and then you can see.
see if I'm become a believer.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it.
Maybe not a believer, but
I've
maybe
had so many Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door and I've never changed.
I feel like that's not the same thing as something, because like Jehovah's Witnesses, it's easy to be like, all right, well, tell God to drop 10K in my lap right now and I'll believe and I'll donate it. And
I don't think that's how religion's supposed to work.
no, it's not, but I'm just saying.
I don't think that's what anybody intends when they do that stuff.
No, probably not. Jehovah's Witness is a weird one. I had one come to my house the other day, which is, I haven't seen one in a long time. But like, I don't know.
Nobody comes to where I live now.
Imagine how much it must suck being a Jehovah's Witness for like 18 years or whatever, and then you finally get to go to like an exotic location and your friends are going to fucking mission in fucking China or Africa or fucking Europe and you get Derry, New Hampshire.
I think that's more the Mormons that do that. The Jehovah's, I think, do mostly their own local area.
Oh.
It's the Mormons that get sent out over the world. But I have.
You're right. I think they're the same place.
I have had that same thought. I had a run of Mormons that like. I think they kept like I accepted one's friend request on Facebook.
That happened to me.
It was during COVID because they
That
couldn't
happened to
go
me.
door to door.
Yeah.
But they'd still come here and try to like set up meetings. So they were doing a lot of stuff through social media. And I had a run of I kept accepting 10 of, and every time it was like I feel like one would leave and give his contacts to the other. So like it must have been like 10 of them. Finally I got a DM from one. I was like, hey man, I've been humoring this and being nice, but like this is nothing. There's nothing here, man. I used to work with the Jehovah's Witness when I did replacement windows, and one time we got to a job and we knocked on the door and like nobody came. Finally the guy answers the door, opens it up, he's like, sorry, thought it was the fucking Jehovah's Witnesses again. And he goes, well, we're not so bad. He's like, the guy went white as a ghost. He's like, it's fine, man. I was like, I've been doing this my whole life. I'm used to, people say way worse than that to me. Like, don't worry about it.
That's hilarious.
Nah, I won't say it.
Okay.
I was gonna tell a story, but I don't know if you'd be okay with it.
I'd be
So
fine
I'll
with
skip
it.
You might be okay with it. The person it's about me.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, you ready to head down?
Sure.
We're about 30 minutes in now, so we've done our minimum requirement.
You reached your quota, so your boss won't be mad at you.
Reached my minimum quota. My what won't be mad at me?
Your boss.
Yeah, exactly. The algorithm is my boss, and she will be pissed if I don't post something tomorrow. So, you got into real estate? Was that just like a job move for you?
I think I told this story last time I was on your podcast.
I think we only got 27 listens, so we can tell it again.
Okay, cool.
Oh, what's over here?
I didn't do it on video either. This is just another little viewpoint over here.
This one has a little bench. What the fuck, dude? Why did you have me
Oh, I
standing
didn't know
on
this bench was... I have never seen this bench.
standing on those uncomfortable rocks?
I think that bench is somewhat new. It doesn't look new. Maybe it got relocated
It looks
or
weathered.
repurposed.
Let's test the limits of this fucking thing.
I'm so scared. Oh, it's pretty solid. Very solid.
Very solid. Nice job. Town of Hooksett.
But you know what? Why is this bench where you can't see anything?
I don't know. I wish I had pepperoni though right now. This is like a really good pepperoni bench.
What about your nipples?
No, well, you can suck on those if you want, but
Are they pepperoni shaped?
they
I
are.
don't think I've ever seen you
And
without-
colored.
think I've ever seen you without a shirt on. I have very small nipples.
My wife.
Every time somebody sees me without, well, I shouldn't say every time. Many times somebody's seen me with a shirt off for the first time. They're like, wow, you have small nipples.
I have video of me saying that to you at one of your shoots.
That I had small nipples?
Yeah.
Oh, see? Told you. I don't even remember you doing it. That's how often it happens.
My nipples are proportionate. But my wife calls me the prudest nudist because I try to never be... Like, I'm always naked at the house if I can be. Less so now because we have kids, but like I never wear a shirt or socks. I wear like the minimum amount of clothes required, unless there's any chance someone might see me, in which case I'm fully dressed.
The thing about your body when you have kids is so weird. Like it's so, I still don't know where and when the lines are drawn, like where they're gonna be. I'm not touching my kid.
No.
Fuck it. I just realized that was a very weird way to phrase that.
That's okay. You're coming back around. You're bringing it back around.
My kid is safe, very safe. No, but it's like, she'll still go to the bathroom with the door open, and then I walk by. I'm like, why don't you shut that? I don't need to see you right now. But it's like she also that was a huge bird. It's gonna be some sort of like a hawk, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to see on camera, but that is a fucking huge bird.
Massive.
Imagine if that thing just came and fucking clawed your eyeballs out right now. Then there's nothing you could do to stop it.
I've got to finish my thoughts about what we were just talking about before it gets too far away from us. So it's like my kid will just walk in when I'm like getting out of the shower, like no knocking, like trying to lock the door, but it's like, I have like a master or primary bath off of my bedroom. So sometimes I'll have the bedroom door locked and the bathroom door locked. And it's like, if it's just me alone, I feel like that's too much separation between hearing my kid and make sure she's all right. So it's like, I won't do that. And then it's like, oh, I forget to lock either of them. So, there's all these situations. And then it's like, I have always been take my pants off as soon as I get to the house and walk around in my underwear. It's like, when do I have to stop that? When does that become weird? I remember my dad, he'll love this if he ever watches it. I think my parents would finally stop watching all this content. For a while, they would watch and listen to everything I did. But my dad...
That's when you know you've made it. When you're like, people who love you aren't even watching. Yeah. You know the views are fucking real.
That's when, well, yeah. But that's when it really starts. Like, you get so much bump on anything you do in the beginning from people just wanting to support a friend or family. But no, I remember my dad used to go out to the mailbox in like silk brief underwear, and they had like paisley like designs on them and shit, and he would walk around in those, just that, no shirt, just his fucking briefs. I remember fucking silk briefs.
One time when we were having a sleepover, me and my buddy Drew were having a sleepover. We must have been 7, 8, and we were being wicked loud. It was like 2 a.m. and my dad came in his tidy whities and yelled at us to go to sleep.
See, that's worse. The tidy whities is like the worst.
The tidy, I don't know. I have never worn tidy whities. One time I accidentally bought a pack of, they weren't white, but they were like that cut of underwear, and I called them my manties, and I would wear them, ironically, to be sexy for my wife.
White underwear is absolutely insane.
Just insane. Unbelievable.
Why you would
do that. At
the very least, the best wiper in the world, you're still going to drip pee.
A little bit of pee, yeah. If you drink, you can only drink water if you're going to wear white underwear.
Even still, you're going to drink a lot. The nutrients from the food will get in there and still make yellow pee.
Especially when you eat as many hot dogs as I do. No, I don't know if nutrients is the right word, but whatever's happening.
There's nutrients.
In hot dogs, maybe. Some. It's outweighed.
Macronutrients.
Macronutrients.
Not so many micros. There's protein in there. There's fat. There's calories. Those are all nutrients, right?
Is that how
that works?
The kid thing is weird because my kid is 8, and I'll be pooping. Mid-poop, and he'll just come in and start talking to me about just like nothing important. He'll just come in and talk to me about whatever is going on in his day, or he'll ask me some questions about something. My son has a lot of questions. He'll burst in.
Hey Dad, how's your poop?
Yeah, I don't even poop with the door closed because it scares me every time because my son doesn't open doors like normal.
Lock?
I don't lock the door, no, and not in my own home. I'm fucking.
I do now.
Like I'm gonna get jumped. I don't.
I also don't want to surprise my wife that I'm shitting. Like we separate ourselves pretty well still after 16 years of not shitting really in front of each other. Like we don't. See, we haven't gotten like. Do you shit?
Being married is 2 to 1. It's 2 people becoming 1.
Will you shit?
I can't shit in front of anybody. If there's anybody.
Will you shit while she's taking a shower in the same room?
No.
You only have one bathroom, right?
No, I have two.
Two showers? Or?
2 bathrooms.
Oh, I guess it doesn't. 2 toilets. You have
Yeah.
2 toilets. See,
No,
we only had one toilet at our last house for like 7 years. I remember going out, like, pissing in bottles if she was, like...
I would piss in it. I would piss in there if she was showering. We shower together all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't... I mean, shitting...
That's... You shit...
I wouldn't shit in
while
someone...
you're showering together.
I shit while I
Waffle stomp it down the drain.
She'll poop and I'll stomp it down the drain for her because that's love.
That is...
No, not really.
I don't imagine that
She would be fucking mortified if
I don't imagine that you have any solids anyway.
No, not many.
Yeah.
Yes, it
doesn't matter. You're just shitting in the shower is fine for you.
I have to, yeah. Not to get too into my shitting, but since we're here, yeah, no, I don't shit in front of my wife. But, like, me shitting is kind of a big deal because it's such an event that everybody knows.
Sell tickets.
The only person who will come in is either my son or my daughter. And, like, they're also the only people I can shit in front of because I'm very weird about shitting. I can't shit publicly. If I'm, like, if it's a public restroom, it has to be, I'll just have to take over the family restroom. I can't shit in, like, a stall.
I can, but it's got to be clean. Like, if I see a speck of somebody else's shit when I walk in there, the shit in me recoils up into my small intestines or whichever one comes first.
So the way I shit is so violent that, like, once I have to shit, it's game on. There's just no retraction. It's the enemies. It's the Battle of Helm's Deep.
See, I will have shits where I think this is an emergency. I'm gonna have to go no matter what, and then get in there and see this disgusting ass fucking toilet bowl, and it's just gone. It goes right back up in my body.
That's crazy. Yeah. I wish that would happen. I have every shit.
A retracting sphincter.
Every shit is an emergency.
Is that the thing?
Yeah.
What's a sphincter?
A sphincter is your butthole. Yeah, is a sphincter.
Sphincter says what?
What?
A sphincter says
what?
what?
Yeah, no, I got it. I had to play into it. Anyways, this is top-notch podcasting as far as I'm concerned. We've now peaked. It's only downhill after this.
I mean, it's pretty downhill the moment where I thought I had to clarify the safety of my child. That was pretty far downhill.
I felt like we could come up after that. I felt like that was just a dip.
It was just one of those things. As I was saying, I was like, "I'm not weird. It's just."
I knew you were going to pick it up. I knew you were going to pick it up. That's why I didn't stop.
It just is weird that you go your adult life. You also, as a child, like in your own home, like growing up, like. I don't think I ever stopped walking around in my underwear.
I showered. Me and my son showered together till we were like, he was like 6 probably. 6 or 7.
Yeah, I remember showering with my dad.
I don't think it's one of those things that you don't think about until you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like it's like such a slow. Obviously, it's a fucking 6-year-long progression from being born to 6 years old, and you would never think twice about showering with your fucking, you know what I mean, 12-month-old or like 6-month-old. You know what I mean? I've been showering.
I would not. I would because she just took baths until she was like.
I used to just hold my son in the shower and get in because it was
we
easier.
Never did that. We had one of those like tubs that goes inside the tub. That's what
Too
we
much
did
work
for a while, and then just tubs after that.
Too much of a pain in the ass. We never tubbed. We were all showers.
My daughter has always had long hair, and I know nothing about long hair. And like it's a very big point of. There's very few things where like. We have gender roles defined. The washing of the hair is one that we would get into it every time. She's like, "You're scrubbing too hard." But it's funny because I can remember when my dad was home, and my mom was gone, and I had to do a bath, and he would wash my hair. I remember like he would dig in with his nails, and I'd be, "Oh, it fucking hurts! What the fuck?" You know. So it was funny that like passed down into another generation. But it's like. Now she washes her own hair. Like she isn't always good about rinsing.
How old
we'll
is she?
She's almost 8.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't say her name in case, but she just posted a video on YouTube, so I think she's already public.
I have used her name publicly on YouTube, but though I did not use her actual name.
Wait, she's 8?
Almost. She'll be 8 in July.
So she's the same age as my son.
Yeah, close. Yeah, just behind him. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just one of those weird things as well. All I wanted to say.
All parenthood is weird.
Right it is. It is very weird.
It's like there's very few times in your life where there's such a clear distinction of like the before and after. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know. Like your kids, marriage is probably one of them.
Marriage didn't really change too much for me because
I'm not technically married, so
oh, true, yeah. So you don't even really have that line.
yeah.
But we'd have been together 3 years before our wedding, and we were living together from day one. Right when we met, I lost my first house to foreclosure, and I moved. I was like, hey, I'm homeless, and she's like, no, you're not. You live with me now. And it was like we don't have been dating a couple months, so we've been pretty much living together since the beginning.
Jack Black just did an interview with. He's like going on tour for the Minecraft thing, and he just did an interview on, I want to say, Conan, and he was just saying how he's like, I've resigned myself to telling the same stories over and over and over.
Why did you get so much quieter when you started talking about Jack Black? We've been yelling about shit and nudity.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even realize I did. I think because the wind stopped blowing.
Oh.
The problem is that I'm very hard of hearing, and so whenever there's other noise, I can't hear anything.
Problem is I'm very hard.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's why I brought up Jack Black, because I knew that would have that effect on you.
Only as his new character in the Minecraft movie. That's the only time he turns me on. I was hoping I bombed on that.
I hate the fact. Jack Black is so weird because he was really the first person. He was a real hero of mine. And then to see him throw Kyle Gass under the bus like he did last year really fucked me up. I'm not going to lie. It really fucked me up. It makes me so sad. Because I
don't remember what that was about.
Kyle Gass said that he wished that he made a wish on his birthday cake that the next person that took a shot at Trump didn't miss.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a joke or whatever. And then they canceled their tour over it.
I think that's probably his real opinion. But.
Maybe, but yeah. They canceled their tour over it. And what happened, I think, is Jack had all these contracts in place. Minecraft movie, Claptrap on. That other one he did.
It's still pussy shit because he doesn't need any of it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can get it if you were just starting out in your career and you were about to get your big break on a movie like that. But at this point in your life, just fucking take the consequences. I would stand.
Well, especially since
I would be like, hey, he said what he said. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't continue to book us or don't continue to book us.
I just don't get why why he did that or why that happened.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like Jack Black kind of did that thing where he got all this money and he got all these things, but he really only got it because of Tenacious D in the first place. Yeah. And I feel like Tenacious D is
without those guys, he wouldn't be who he was.
And it's still his most beloved project. I don't think.
You think?
Oh, for sure. What do you think?
Can't even think of what else now that I'm saying that.
He was in School of Rock. That was his big break. And
was it really? He didn't have
School of Rock was his first big break. Yeah. He was in a couple movies.
Lead role.
He was in a couple movies before that. He was in High Fidelity.
I like School of Rock.
Technically, I like School of Rock too. But technically, High Fidelity was his big break. But School of Rock was when he stopped needing to audition. He got to a point where he was big. But I feel like most of his fan base still started with him as fans of Tenacious D, and on Mr. Show, all those years ago.
I never got into him at all. I saw him on hosting SNL recently, and I thought it was pretty good actually. I've had a SNL renaissance.
The thing is when
we got people. Got company.
We're talking. Sorry. Do we have a cell phone? I don't actually.
I think I did lose a cell phone. I didn't even notice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
It was just it was down at the bottom of the hill.
Thank you. I can't believe I went that long without knowing. We've been recording.
That is crazy.
Recording us talking.
Thank you.
Up here. All right, we'll start.
Yeah, we can start walking down.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
That's funny because if we hadn't found this bench, you would have definitely lost your cell phone forever.
Well, we would have. Well, actually, we could have gone different trails. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with what I was gonna say is the reason Jack Black is was really big for me was because I was into hardcore, I was into boxing, but then I was also into theater, and he was he made it cool to be a theater loser, basically, when I was a kid,
Well, it's it's kind of an anti-cool thing, right?
Yeah. But he also made it cool to be not to be kind of a not overachiever or he kind of showed that to me there was a different path to success than just fucking school and stuff,
Yeah.
And so that's why he was really big deal to me. But
it's kind of funny though, is people like that sometimes actually it's a problem for some people because they're oh, look at this look at this fat dork. I can just be a fat dork and be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no, like he worked his ass off to get where he is.
Yeah, he just focused on the things.
I don't know much about him, but you know he did, right?
Yeah, he definitely worked hard, and like he just focused on things that like non-traditionally. And then you also find out later that his parents were like NASA scientists, and his mom fucking helped bring the Apollo. She was the one who brought the Apollo 13 fucking crew home. Which is crazy.
Saved Tom Hanks.
Yeah, so she saved Tom Hanks. Good call. Good reference.
I've seen a movie.
Yeah. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about is the perfect transition into the fact that Alex has seen almost no movies in his entire life.
Yeah.
I will send him messages all the time.
They're mostly bad.
Being like, have you seen this movie? Somehow he saw the movie Chopping Mall, but I have never
seen Chopping Mall.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No, I just happen to be in a band that recorded a song named after it.
Okay. So you've seen, how did you go through life not seeing any movies? Because even though you grew up in Maine, it's not like you grew up without technology.
Well, all that time going back and forth barefoot to the outhouse just wasn't a lot of time to crank the generator so that we could watch it. No, I don't know. I mean, I watched a lot of movies when I was a kid, but it was like whatever we had. So like we had tons of VHS tapes, but they were all like always the $1 ones from like the movie store, like when they were liquidating stuff. And then like my mom had this craziest system for bootlegging movies off of HBO.
What?
Like they used to give you those free trials to the premium channels, remember?
Yeah.
Like free previews or whatever.
Yeah.
When we would get those, she would set up the VCR and just record everything.
That's so funny.
And I think we had over 100 VHS tapes that she recorded off of all those premium channels. And she had a catalog of what was on each tape, and you could search through this little catalog alphabetically or by tape number. So like you could like look, if you wanted what was one that we watched a lot, like what was that? Hey you guys, The Goonies.
The Goonies.
Like if you want to watch The Goonies, you go to G and then it would tell you what tape number it was on.
That's so funny.
Or you could go through and like, what's on tape number 76, And
what were they, like 8-hour tapes?
Yeah, probably. I think that's what they
Did she ever have any where she didn't have enough on one, so she recorded most of it on one and you had to jump?
No. Mary LaChance would never do something like that. She's a very thorough woman, she is. She would make sure. She's like very, very big completionist.
So I did something similar, except it was remember when Netflix would mail you DVDs?
Yeah.
So you could get 2 DVDs at a time. No, so my parents had it set up so that we could get DVDs. I think you could get 5. I can't remember, but we used to order. Anyways,
there were different tiers to you could get 1 at a time, you could get 3 at a time, you get 5 at a time.
I think it was set up so that I was allowed to order 2 of them. I was allowed to use 2 slots.
Oh, you had, yeah.
And then they used the rest of the slots. But I would order movies and then I would bootleg them. And I had set up my computer so that because they tried at the time, DVDs were like trying to up their security, but there was nothing you could do because you had the internet, so you could figure out how to fucking rip. I don't even know. They
eventually put those fake, like those unhearable audio tracks in them that would make it impossible. That was a thing they were doing towards the end of it being a big deal. What was a little known thing that a lot of people don't remember is Blockbuster competed with Netflix before they disappeared.
Well, hold on,
they had the same service, but you could actually bring the DVDs back to Blockbuster, the ones that they mailed you, and get a rental there.
Oh yeah.
It would automatically trigger your queue to send you the next one, so you never not have a movie. It was so much better than Netflix. You were never waiting for anything to show up.
Blockbuster's the worst because they had it, and they figured out how to fix their problem at the end, and then but they were too late.
Yeah.
They figured it out too late.
What were they going to do?
Same with Toys R Us. Toys R Us fucked up so hard because all they needed to do was make it so that you could go there and play with the toys and make it like a spot where you would go to hang out and play with toys, and then you would buy something while you were there, like almost like a cafe. Toys R Us should have evolved and become like a cafe, and they didn't. And that was their fucking. They could have saved themselves, and they didn't. But I mean, I always had cameras too, so like I would straight up just set them up and record them on my TV with the audio. I had probably 1,000 DVDs.
Oh, I had tons of in the like
bootlegged fucking DVDs.
What did I download on IRC? Internet Relay Chat.
Okay, yeah.
The cameras from the theater. Like I remember American Pie. I remember specifically, I went over to a friend's house and watched American Pie and Blair Witch Project that were just screeners from the theater. Like that we put on VHS. We downloaded and then put on VHS tapes.
I had a copy of a DVD of what the fuck was the name of that movie? The X-Men movie with Ryan Reynolds where he played Deadpool, but not the good one.
I couldn't tell you. I knew nothing. There's a genre that I know nothing about.
Anyways, it was this fucking movie, and we got a copy of it that didn't have. Mike will tell you about this. They didn't have a copy, or they didn't have the special effects in it yet. So it was just like the special effects, like where they were gonna plug them in, would be drawn on the screen.
I think I saw The Matrix with no soundtrack, dialogue, but no music or
That's
anything.
funny.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves has had quite the fucking. That's not the way.
This way.
Has had quite.
That will get us back too, but I don't. Really.
Yeah, much shorter, much faster, much more brutal. Watching that on screen would probably be much more entertaining, though.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm gonna roll right down that hill when I've done that way.
We are roll shaped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We are shaped to roll.
Yeah, designed to roll.
My uncle always says designed for comfort, not speed.
Yeah. Things fat people say to feel better about themselves.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
I'm fluffy.
We're
Good. Or what women say, oh, fat guys are big cuddlers. Oh, you want to go out? No.
I wouldn't know, because the last time I got a girl, I was skinny, and then that was it.
I've been fat and not fat so many times.
That you told me something interesting. Your doctor told you that, like, you're better off, because you had said you were worried about yo-yoing, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was like, you're better off taking the strain off your heart for a little while.
That's crazy. I feel like I've never heard that before, because the doctor...
Like, it's not ideal, but it's still better than just staying fat.
Right.
Like, just staying
like
morbidly
yo-yoing
obese like I am.
But, like, the fear of yo-yoing up and down is not as... It's, like, better than...
Yeah, it's better to have...
Lost the weight for a little bit.
Than to have never loved at all. It's one of those scenarios.
Well, there's a lot to love. I think...
But it's like, if I spend... it's like, I feel like if I had just stayed this sedentary as I've been living lately and eating poorly like I have been, if I had always done that, never taken a break, never got in shape, never done athletics, like never ate good food, I'd probably be worse off right now. Like, there's no way I wouldn't be. Like, I'd probably be somebody who couldn't, if I was living the lifestyle I'm living currently, where I laid in bed and ate 2 Reese's Big Cups last night.
Just 2?
Well, that's all I had. Well, what did I eat for dinner? Like, I don't even know. I think I chopped up some of my kids' chicken nuggets and put some hot sauce on them and threw them in rice, like instant in the microwave rice.
That's almost healthy. That's so close.
Like, if I was living this current lifestyle forever and never getting on the healthy train, I'd probably be 10 times worse right now. Like,
you know what makes me so mad?
I might be a person who couldn't climb up this.
Is that, like, I'm just genetically fucked.
Yeah,
to have, like, super terrible high blood pressure. No, even when I was, like, boxing 152 pounds, my blood pressure was fucking too high. I can't sit at a fucking...
Yeah,
I can't...
It's just one pill to fix that.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to take a fucking pill every day. Do you remember to take a pill? I can't...
I take them. They're $3. Remember? I mean, it's not a big deal.
What do you mean it's not a big deal? I can't remember.
You don't take like supplements anyways? Like
I do. No, no, because I can't remember to fucking take them.
Get a pill. Get one of those pill minders, like an old person.
I have a pill minder. I have an alarm set in my phone. I've done all the tricks. I can't do it.
Sounds like a discipline issue.
Yeah, it's got to be what it is. I mean, sometimes the alarm will go off and I'm sitting and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting up right now. I can admit that, Part of it is...
Why don't you just take them when you set your alarm?
It's a recurring alarm.
Oh.
If I did that, I only would have taken it one time.
I see.
Although maybe that's a hack. Maybe I could...
Figure out how long you want to live. Take all the vitamins for the rest of your life today.
I wish I had died about 3 weeks.
Does it work that way?
I wish I was dead about 3 weeks ago.
All right, so spit the vitamins back out.
What's this way? This is a nice path.
This is the way we came.
This is relaxing.
the way we came. You've been here.
Have
You've been
we?
here today.
No. Didn't we come from that way?
No, we came yellow.
Oh. You came yellow? That sounds like something you should talk to the doctor about.
It does dry yellow.
Not mine.
I put
I don't think. I've actually never seen it dry. I exclusively jack off in the shower.
I put a cup of cum in my friend's closet one time when he was away. Like we hung his brother was like one grade below me and he was 1 grade above me, so we all hung out all the time. But he was away. I was just hanging out with his little brother, and I put a cup of cum in his closet, and he punched me pretty hard when he found out. He was a big dude.
I had a friend who was attempting to make a cum candle when he was in high school.
Did it work?
No, and the smell became so bad that it made his entire house, like you couldn't walk in his house.
I feel like you told me the story before.
Without smelling it, and his parents were like going crazy, they had like called exterminators trying to figure out what the smell was. Nobody could figure out what the smell was, and it was because he was secretly keeping this fucking jar of cum under his bed, and he had it like wrapped up in bags and shit.
Was he mixing it with wax? Like trying to make a cum scented?
No, he was
candle,
just trying to make a straight cum candle.
I don't think that doesn't have the same properties as wax.
He tried it for a long time too. I mean, it's just absolutely foul to think about, but he did it for too long. And eventually he ended up throwing out. And today, he's a scientist who works on CRISPR.
Well,
who works with CRISPR.
Just goes to show you, if your child is playing with their cum, don't stop them. It might lead to great things.
You never know what's going to come out of it. What's going to come out of it.
Yeah. C-U-M.
But, yeah. So, that's an hour. We're going to end on that. Thank you so much, Alex. Where can people find you?
At 603_real_estate. My podcast is LaChance. The La is in parentheses. LaChance Encounters. Because both of those things is because I like to make it easier for you to find me.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. You know who loves you. It's me. We will see you next week. Mwah! Bye.